Hey, how's it going? Josh here from Books by Josh, and this is episode number 83 of the Books by Josh audio immersion. This episode is titled The Man Who Moves Mountains, and I'm very excited to do this episode because we're going back to philosophy and teachings. What are teachings? It's just another word for the sayings whenever I do a philosophy episode or post, and we're learning from Confucius, which is one of the great teachers I love to learn from. You should know him, he's a wise man from ancient China. So the full teaching today is the man who moves a mountain, begins by carrying away small stones. Self-explanatory, like most of his teachings. So if you want to tackle something big, you have to hit it little by little. Take away the small stuff first. What does that have to do with anything in life? Well, you want to get out of credit card debt, you can do Dave Ramsey's method, the snowball. So tackling the big debts, you attack the small debts, then use that money to snowball. So it grows bigger and bigger. As you pay off more and more smaller debts, you take those payments and pay off the next bigger one until it's a big amount of money, aka a big snowball, to tackle the big debt. Now let's do the inverse. Turn around. If you're saving for retirement, saving to buy something, whatever, little by little, you save up for that goal. You want to have $5,000, so every paycheck you put away $50. Doesn't sound like much. You get a raise, you act like that raise didn't exist. So if they give you $100 raise, you put that $100 away, and you live off what you were living off. So instead of putting away 50, you're putting away 150. That way, in a few months, you have the $5,000. If you're investing for retirement or just to invest, you set your 401k if your job offers it, or IRA, to come out. So in my case, I have 8% coming out of my paycheck. So whenever I get a raise, if there's 8% from that too. And that automatically gets invested in my 401k. Then they match 4%. So I don't see that money. Does it hurt me? Not really, because it's already in my mind that it's coming out. And over time, it'll add up because you have something called DRIP, dividend reinvestment program, where if a company gives you a dividend, you buy more shares with it. So in my investment accounts, I have it turned on. So prime example is I have some REITs in there, real estate investment account, trust or whatever in there. So they pay a higher dividend yield because they're forced to pay most of their profits back to shareholders. So with that, I have a company that gives me back 30 cents a share. I have a couple hundred shares. So let's say I get $30 just for simple math. That's 30 cents, 100 shares, $30. You get that $30 and you buy more shares. Maybe you can only buy 3 shares of that company for that. But guess what? Those 3 shares will give you 30 cents more. So now you have 30.90 that's paying you. Josh, I can only buy 3. Yes and no, because you get fractional shares. So now you buy 3.09 shares. Then the next time it pays you, it buys 3.2 shares. Then 3.5 shares, It adds up. So one day it's buying you a share per extra share, then extra 3 shares, That's what I do for my investment portfolio is reinvest the dividends because little by little you get to a mountain. Rome wasn't built in a day, as we all know. That saying's probably older than this. But with taking these small steps, you can hold yourself more accountable. What do I mean? Hey, say you want to lose 50 pounds. That's your overall goal. But you can set a monthly goal to lose 5 pounds. And then you can assess what's working and what's not working. Say this month you lose 3 pounds. So you figure out, hey, let me do this. And then the month after that, you lose 8 pounds. So now you lost 11. So you're ahead of schedule. But now you know, hey, I did this. It worked amazing. I lost 8 pounds instead of the 5. But I'm burnt out. Now I know I can cut back and you can measure and then cut. So you measure twice, cut once, as the saying goes. It's not really. But you get what I'm saying here is you can adjust based on your results. So by having these smaller goals, you can adjust everything to make sure it works in the long run. Doesn't matter how you get that saying goes, it's as long as you get there. Because sure, it could take you an hour to get someplace that would taking someone else 40 minutes. But at the end of it all, you're there. So when you feel discouraged trying to do something, you have to remember everybody moves at their own pace. Sure, I can look at someone else's bank account and feel sad because they have more money than me, or I'm jealous, or their investments, they're a millionaire at my age. We all have different circumstances. As long as I'm carrying away the small stones, taking care of the little stuff that's working towards my goal, you know? And one of the things is, doing this podcast and my other podcast, Small Stones, this will be the third week in a row I podcasted. And that doesn't sound like something big, but it kind of is when you don't have the energy to do things. I'm trying to get back on the grind. And as long as I keep doing it, sure, I might not have the listeners I had before I stopped doing it this last time. But guess what? For those of you sticking around and finding me out, thank you for being here. It's just small steps to my goal. And another small steps I have to go towards the goal is finishing the next book. That's why it's books by Josh and not book by Josh. And as you probably know, that book's probably a third done. I could finish it. Just have to sit there and actually do it. But the moral of the story, have a big goal. Chop it down to smaller pieces. That way you can achieve the goal. And then measure how the smaller pieces are falling off. And are they falling off correctly, or do you have to adjust? Do you have to change a course of action? Do you have to give a little more oomph to move that one stone because you thought it was a small stone, but slightly bigger than a small stone? And that's it. That's it. This episode of Books by Josh or Immersion. Thank you guys for making it to the end, and catch you guys in the next one. See ya.